Welcome back. So what do we have today? Well, this laptop is coming from another computer repair shop. The laptop was booked in as coming on but no display. It's Lenovo IdeaPad S145. Yeah, should be IdeaPad S145 model. You know, this kind of Lenovo, they have a common fault. So that's the laptop that came in for repair. It's not displaying. It's just coming on, but you don't have picture. So I'll press the power on button here and pay attention here. Maybe on. Oh, the battery is disconnected. Let's do it again. Here we must have a light. You see that white light? The laptop, it is on. Even if we check here on the power on switch, we do have white light, but basically we have nothing on the screen. I think I fixed so many model of this Lenovo, and what I found based on the history, what I found was the BIOS issue. This problem of this model of Lenovo has some problem with BIOS. What do we have here? We have DDR4 RAM. We have the Lenovo IT chip, that the BIOS chip here. Here we have onboard RAM memory. We have some power supplies. So what do we have? Do you have any voltage on the board? What do you have on this coil? 5.13 here. We have 3.3. So this is the 3.3 and 5 volts power supply. Maybe you can't see. You see those coil? 5 volts, 3.3. You see those 4 chips? This is onboard RAM memory. Okay. So yeah, the laptop is still on, but we have nothing on the screen. So how do you know we have problem with the onboard RAM memory, or we have the problem, or we have problem with the BIOS chip? On this coil we have nothing. Here we have nothing. 1 volt. Nothing. 8.43 volts. Let's unplug the battery. Let's put the multimeter on diode mode, you know, the beeping mode. Let's check this coil. Ohms range. Here we have 17 ohms. On this one, we have 10 ohms. Here, we have 10 ohms. Here, we have 29 ohms. So 10 ohms if you put on the beeping mode, obviously it's beeping to ground. This is the internal resistance of the processor. So many technicians get lost there. They see, oh, a core is beeping to ground and we have a short. This is not the short. This is actually the internal resistance of the CPU, because this is an all-in-one CPU, and the CPU is meant to work with low voltage, like around 0.91 volts. Obviously, the resistance to ground is very low. Here we can't check too many things. I think what we can try to do is to reprogram this guy. We have done it, and now we have to do it again, because this is the common fault on this model of laptop. You see what the screen is doing? It's like trying to, the screen is trying to post, but for some reasons it's still remaining black. So clearly we have a BIOS issue here. Yeah, let's disconnect the battery. Okay, taking out the BIOS chip. That's the next step. The BIOS chip is out. Here we have our programmer E.T.C 2019 plus, and pin number 1 is supposed to be here. Now what we need to do, we need to let's see if our chip is being detected. Let's see if our chip is being detected. Test. Yeah, the chip has been detected. So now we have to read the chip. We are now reading what is inside this chip. Yeah, EZP 2019 plus is a little bit slow. That's why I bought another programmer, CH341, USB mini programmer, because before I was working with this programmer. You see how long it is taking just to read the data inside the chip. Yeah? And it's not supposed to happen that way. Okay. Read complete. Why we can't? Why everything? Yeah, this firmware. You can see all this faint. You can't even do anything further. Let's save. bin Lenovo on the desktop. Now we need to erase. How am I going to erase this? How am I going to erase this? Let's disconnect. Let's connect again. Reading. Now, yeah, the chip has something. Let's erase this chip. Erase. Now we're deleting whatever inside this chip. Erase complete. As you can see, what is the next step? The next step is to close the program. Open the program again. We are now opening the program again. Now we have to detect the chip again. You read again. We are doing this just to make sure that the chip is empty. We need to make sure that here the chip is empty. Now you see the chip is empty. So it means we have successfully erased anything, all the binary data that was inside this chip. The original bin file. So now we are now on the writing process. We test again. The chip has been detected. We open. Where's our file? Where's our file? Downloads. That's the file. That is the file. Now let's write. We are now rewriting the BIOS chip. So we have successfully write the chip. We'll close here. We open the program. We detect the chip. Let's read. We are doing this again just to confirm if we have successfully rewrite the chip. Because this kind of programmer sometimes I found that so many times it acts as if it's rewriting the chip, but when you read the chip is still empty. You know, this kind of chip programmer, you can't trust them. So you need to verify every step that you do just to make sure you are doing the right thing. So we are on the process of verification of the bin file that we have right inside this chip. We must see something. We must see something. If this programmer did the good job, we must see some data inside this chip. So let's wait. Here we go. Here we go. You see all this binary data. So we are done. We are done. Now we need to put back the chip. But before that, I think we need to put some solder, some more solder on the pins. You know, this is a nice feeling when you are fixing something dead. Here, what I'm just doing here, we just want to resolder back the BIOS chip. I don't think we need a microscope for that. I don't think so. Unless if there's someone who is telling me that you don't know the BIOS chip. A BIOS chip is a I used to call it an abnormal MOSFET, a MOSFET which is very big in terms of size. So our BIOS chip is soldered properly. I feel bad if we end this video without showing you the BIOS chip. You have to see the BIOS chip. You see that guy close to the startup chip? That's the BIOS. That's the BIOS we are talking about. So let's reset the BIOS by the board by shorting pins on the BIOS battery connector. After that, what is the next step? Let's make sure that the motherboard is cool. Now we need to plug back the battery. If this is not going to work, we have a very big problem with this laptop. Maybe we can't fix it. Plug in the charger. It's taking 133, 600. The laptop just came on by itself. It's restarting. $600. Let's wait because we reset the BIOS, so we have to be patient. Where is the picture? Hi, picture, where are you? Picture, where are you? Still have a black screen. How is that even possible? After reprogramming to still have a dead laptop on? I think this is a different case here. So do you have problem with the onboard RAM memory? Hmm? What do you think is the problem? Let's check some voltages. Let's check some voltages. I'm checking on coils. Here we have nothing. We are on the CPU. I can't see any voltage. Maybe here we have 1 volt. The current is changing. Now it's taking 1 amp. Now it's off. It's taking 400. Are we winning or not? So what do you have to do here? What do you have to do? Huh? Let's disconnect the battery. Let's do something. Maybe we have the problem with the onboard RAM memory. So I'll resolder all these chips. I'm resoldering the onboard RAM memory because I think we have something more here. Okay, let's cool the motherboard and then we test again. Let's test again. Let's test again. On. The motherboard is on. The current is just fluctuating. And I've seen something. Honestly, I've seen something. This motherboard is trying to come on. Huh? Do you have a RAM problem? Now the repair is going complicated. Let's try with the different RAM. What am I doing wrong here? Huh? And it's working. Huh? It's working. The owner took out the SSD drive. What I did here, I was trying. We reprogrammed the BIOS chip. The laptop did not display. We reheat the chips, but I know the initial problem was the corrupt firmware from the BIOS chip. Because this is a common fault, especially with this model of Lenovo. The BIOS chip is getting corrupt so easily. So after I've tried everything, I disconnect the battery. I try to power on the laptop without the battery, and the laptop is working fine. Maybe if I switch it off, I won't be able to power it on again. Maybe, who knows? Maybe. No, it's working. It's working. But when you plug in the battery, probably it's not working. Maybe something, the battery maybe is not speaking with the E.T.C chip. On. No, it's working. It's working. So boot device, default boot device missing. You know, I was about to give up on this one. I was about to give up. But if you have this model of Lenovo laptop, trust me, the firmware from the BIOS chip is getting corrupt many times, especially on this model of Lenovo. So if someone asks me what was the problem of this laptop, I will 100% say that was a corrupt BIOS. That was a corrupt BIOS, and now we have a working laptop. Huh? Now we have a working laptop. And what I want to check voltage on the CPU coils. They are 0.79. 0.79. And here, this is 8.6. And what about here? This power supply is off. Okay. Here we have the 3.3 and 5 volts. So all the voltages are fine. And the fan is spinning. We can power off this laptop. Off. We can power it on for the last time. Yeah, it's working. It's working. So yeah, that was the repair. That was the repair. So if you have this model of Lenovo, it's coming on but no picture, try to reprogram the BIOS chip. Try to reprogram the BIOS chip. If that is not working, you have a bad hardware fault. So if you really enjoy my video or my content, after watching the videos, just click on the subscription button and do not forget to turn on the notification bell for future updates so that you won't miss any new updates or new content from the channel. See you on the next one. Bye bye.